welcome to an all-new episode of Hatching for Health. We're on set here in Houston, Texas, on the set of CW39, and we're excited to meet a family and talk a little bit about spina bifida. Now, this is a condition that affects the spine, and this is considered a type of neural tube defect. So we're going to learn all about it once we welcome our guests, Caroline and Adrian. Come on. Hey, guys. Look at you, little cutie. I'm Jessica. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having
good
us
to
here
see
today.
you. Absolutely. Come on over. You're going to sit a little closer to me. There we go. Perfect. So it's so good to see you. I know that we've met and talked a little bit out and about, and when I learned about the fact that your son had been diagnosed with spina bifida at birth, and it was just something I definitely wanted to share with others. I mean, you being a mother of 5, already a lot on your plate, and now raising a son that has different conditions that you have to learn about and also help figure out life yourself. So I think it's inspiring for others to learn about it directly from a mother that's helping.
Thank you so much. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about when you learned that his condition was in fact diagnosed.
So we learned of his condition when I was 19 weeks pregnant. I went to my ultrasound to see if it was a boy or girl, and the first thing that they saw was, he had a big bump in the spine, and so they knew it immediately that wasn't normal. So we left the gender for the end, and that's when we knew that his condition was very severe, the mild meningeal.
Okay.
And just the severity of it was really big. It was from L3 to S5. So that shadow in the ultrasound was really big, so we knew something was wrong.
Really? And so at that point, they could actually conclude that it was spina bifida, or was there, a different possibility of other conditions?
No, they knew immediately it was, because
Okay.
everything was very visual, and he didn't move very much when he was 19 weeks in my stomach, and
Okay.
so we knew immediately that that's what it was, and they started doing tests, and they concluded that it was spina bifida, mild meningeal.
Okay. And none of your other children, have any conditions or anything related to this? It's not something...
No. So we were very in shock that he was diagnosed with that, because none of my other children had that condition.
Okay.
And not in my family either, so it was very surprising to us.
Yeah. And how old are you now, Adrian?
5.
You're 5? So you're in preschool? Right? So are you gonna graduate preschool this year? Oh, are you excited to go into elementary then, right?
Yes, he's at homeschool right now, but he will eventually go to school in person, and he's gonna go to 1st grade.
That's great. So I know with this condition, they're usually not walking. I mean, he's already making miraculous steps. Miracles, call it, right?
Yes.
I mean, at 5 years old, even at whatever age, walking is a huge thing for a child with spina bifida.
Yes, for him, because of the level it was at, I was told he would never walk. He would never walk. He would never eat on his own, and he would just be very delayed in many things. But my miracle. He's walking, he's eating on his own. He does many things that doctors would really told us, that he wasn't going to be able to do.
Oh, goodness. I know that we talked a little bit about this condition and the diagnosis of it in the womb, and that there are, surgical options. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know that you weren't a candidate for those.
Yeah, so they told us about that procedure, that they were going to go in and try to fix his spine while I was still pregnant. But because I already had a premature baby before him, I wasn't a candidate for it. You had to be in really good health condition, no premature labor or anything like that. So yeah, I didn't qualify for it.
Okay, that's very interesting. And is that something that insurance is involved in paying for if you had qualified, or do you even...
Yes, actually they have in Texas Children, they have a program where I didn't have to pay anything. Medicaid was going to cover for it.
Okay.
But just because of the previous pregnancy, I wasn't a candidate.
Okay. Okay. And so just tell me, back to the moment when your husband and you had heard this news, I mean, I guess, what was that moment like for just the spouses together, already having birth 4 children, and you know, and like, here's number 5, you know, I mean, what was that moment like for you guys? And
Honestly, it was very hard. We didn't know anything about it. We had to do so much research, but it was it changed our lives completely. It was a life-changing moment, and it was really hard. Till to this date, it's hard, but I think we came to learn that he's, you know, improving. He's beating all the odds.
Yeah.
So it gives us the strength, but it was really, really hard. It changed my kids' perspective of, you know, all the kids run, play, crawl, and he didn't do none of that at the beginning. And so it was hard.
Yeah, to like, you know, try and understand why his brother not doing this yet or that yet.
Yes.
And now he's walking.
Yes,
like...
now he pretty much chases them sometimes, and they argue like normal kids play, and has his own opinions.
Yeah. So Adrian, are there any activities that you really enjoy more than others? What? Tell me. Is it any sports, or is it with toys, or? Yeah? Which sports do you like?
Horse.
I know you can tell me.
What is it? Tell me.
Is that a dinosaur? Which one is that?
T-Rex.
Rex? Yeah, very good. So tell me about the treatment. Like, obviously he didn't just start walking overnight. Like, this has got to be a lot of work, you know, to get a child to that point. And I know just in general, like, you know, there's various ways that they maybe progress slower than others, and, you know, other arenas, not just walking, but I know, like, intellectually and different things, he seems though like any other 5-year-old, just by, you know, by the small visits we're having. But tell me a little bit about his treatment and what has to be done each week.
Well, his treatments were really, it was different, you know, from when he was born. He had a lot of therapy, a lot of studies, exams to see what was going to help him, you know, walk, crawl. We started with crawling, so it was more like just getting to know what muscles did, you know, work.
Yeah.
How he was gonna, just how he was gonna develop. And so it was a lot of doctor visits, hospital stays.
In the physical therapy aspect, was that going to locations, or did they come to you?
We tried it all. We went into other locations in person to see what equipment was gonna help them, and what kind of therapy, in person, at home. So it was a lot. It was a constant visit. And right now I can say that he has therapy twice a week at home. And that's pretty much it. And just the equipment that he uses daily to, you know, get his strength and learn how to stay more upward. But it was a long, long process. Yeah.
And I noticed he has these little, like, DMA.
The AFOs.
Okay. And so what does that help with?
Actually, these one right here are helping him with his knees. Because he kind of does the scissor position. And so we're helping him stay more upright with these, like, and just help him stabilize while he's walking. But it has been like constant changes of different equipment and things that we were trying to see which one was working better. And I think finally, these are the ones that are helping him the most.
Really? Okay. So was there a point where he was using like any type of equipment to walk, like a little walker or anything like that? Or when he began, was it pretty much just kind of balancing himself?
Yeah, at the beginning, when he just started walking, he was only walking with assistance in the walker. He had like the little seat where it was holding him upright, and he would hold on and just kind of do some steps. And then we would get him out, and then he would just sit and crawl sometimes, because he started crawling first. But it was more slowly getting him more strength, and just getting him excited, because he was excited. He wanted to walk like his sisters.
Of course. I know. I bet that probably helps a lot, like having siblings around you, and like, you know, well, you're constantly learning from them. So when you're watching
Yeah.
them do something that
Constantly.
you know you're supposed to be doing. And as far as like the condition itself, like I know there's like different, like there's 3 different kinds of spina bifida. When you mentioned, you know, you had said one, he's one version of it. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit on?
There is 3. There is the I completely forgot the first name, but there's 3 levels, and he's the severe one, which is myomeningocele.
Okay.
I think the second level is myocele,
Okay.
and then it's myomeningocele. So he has that the more severe one,
Okay.
which was his nerves were outside of the body, and so it had more exposure when he was in the womb.
Okay.
Just any little bump and movement was, you know, damaging more and more.
Okay. And so what are the, you know, what do the doctors say as far as like progression and stuff from like, you know, where he's at compared to other children? Like what are the next steps with him? Like will his, you know, will he have any kind of growth spurt? Like will it affect, you know, how tall he gets or things like that?
There was a point that we didn't see him grow too much. And so they were based, you know, on the spina bifida. But right now, he's growing very well. His feet look a little bit more bigger than usual, but because of the AFOs.
Okay.
But his feet are
To get
growing
room.
perfectly fine. And they were concerned at the beginning about it, but he's just been incredible. Like he's growing perfectly, speaking. He was a little behind because at first, when he was 8 months, he got oral version, which he didn't want to speak, he didn't want to eat, so that's why he got the G tube.
Okay.
And so they also mentioned it was part of the spina bifida, and so we dealt with that from 8 months. I can say probably about 2.5. He started slowly eating.
Okay.
But it was also a process and therapies to getting him to actually talk and put things in his mouth.
Okay. So let's see if Rex can walk across here. You got his.
Take it to her.
Let me see. Can he walk across here?
You have to walk, baby.
Look at that. I bet you. Do you have a bunch of dinosaurs?
Yeah. Walk to her. Give it to her. She wants you to take it to her.
There's like a lot of fun movies with dinosaurs, aren't there? Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to see you have him walk across the little ledge there.
Go.
Wow.
Go to her.
Isn't that cool?
He's being really shy.
I know you are. I heard you're a little talker, but you're not opening up, are you? What's your brothers and sister names? Tell me all 4 of them. What are they? What's the 10-year-old's name? You know.
Julie. Julie. Look to her. Julie.
Julie?
Jamilet. Alexi. Jackie. And what's Jackie's baby's name? Jackie's baby. Isaiah.
What's mommy's name? She's mommy. We do have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll go into some details about the doctor visits and all the array of visits that have happened probably right here in Houston with the medical center, which is such a great tool.
So many.
So we will be right back with you after this short commercial break.
No more. Okay, how about you? He's all hyper. No? Whoa. Oh, man. Seeing him walk for the very first time after his surgery.
Infinity Skincare is dedicated to making you look and feel your best. If you look good on the outside, you're going to feel good on the inside. Located in the River Oaks and Woodlands area, Infinity Med Spa is devoted to skincare, anti-aging, and rejuvenation. Our treatment options will help you look and feel your absolute best. The primary difference between a med spa and a day spa is that the estheticians at a med spa work under the directives of physicians and are able to offer a much more extensive list of services than they would be able to offer at a day spa. Your day at Infinity Med Spa can vary, depending on whether your focus is more directed towards treatments focused on relaxation, or whether your focus is more directed towards an outer rejuvenation. Here at Infinity Med Spa, we believe good health is a combination of inner health and outer beauty. When you look good on the outside, you feel good on the inside. If you're interested in learning more about the med spa services offered here at Infinity Med Spa, you can visit our website at medspainfinity.com. Welcome back from the break. If you have just joined us, we are talking with a mother and her son about Spina Bifida, and we are learning how much they are excelling with this condition, more than most, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you a question or two. So tell me, where do you want to go? Or do you want to take a plane somewhere? Where do you want to take a plane? To the mall. We talked about it. Little bougie boy, we want to go to the mall. So cute. Take a plane to the mall, even that helicopter maybe. We're kind of close to the mall.
Yes.
So you were talking a little bit about the G-tube. Is that something he still has, or is he able to eat everything normal right now?
Yes, he eats everything he wants. He still has the G-tube.
Okay. Is that for medication?
Medication.
Okay.
In case he gets sick or he just stops eating sometimes, then we feed him through there. But we haven't used it for actual meals in a long time. So it's only
That's
medication, and he eats everything.
Yeah. Is the medication, I guess because it's stuff that he wouldn't necessarily be able to take orally, like little pills? Do they do it through a liquid?
It is liquid, but some of those don't taste very well, so we just put it through the G-tube.
Okay. So it's something he'll have like really until he's comfortable taking that medication and like understanding it's just going to taste bad.
Yeah.
You know, when you get a certain age, you're like, I know this is good for me.
Yes, and then he'll take it on his own, hopefully.
Okay.
And that G-tube will come out.
Okay. Is there any other like symptoms that he has or that children, you know, typically do have that they either overcome or don't?
I would say he has a VP shunt.
Okay.
And so the VP shunt is it's a device that he has in his brain, which helps take out all the fluid that accumulates due to the spina bifida.
Really?
So since he was born, he had a lot of fluid, and his surgery he was 1 month old when he got the shunt. And so the shunt will be there for the rest of his life unless the fluid stops accumulating.
Okay.
So we're praying that that's what happens when he gets older.
And what is it called again? It's
VP shunt.
VP shunt? Okay. And it's basically like right above the spinal canal, or?
No, it's actually on this side of his ear.
Okay.
On the side of his, on the head.
And you can't see it visibly from the outside.
It's less visible now. When he was little, he had a huge bump on the back. But yes, it's visible. You can see it.
And so does he go in to have it drained out, or it basically collects it and does its own?
Yeah, the device does it on its own. It has how would I describe it? It's it's at 2.5, so the device automatically knows how much to drain out.
I see. So when it gets to that, or maybe it kind of constantly drains, but it will never like exceed that, or it would fill up too much.
That's why I set up at 2.5 to make sure no extra fluid that's not supposed to come out doesn't.
Okay. Interesting. And so that was something that I guess is done like at birth.
Yes, it's done at birth.
Okay.
But they waited him to heal from his back surgery. And so they gave him a month, and at 1 month old, he got the VP shunt.
So back surgery, you didn't tell us that right away. So he actually has surgery right as a baby, like right then and there?
Yes, depending on the
spine?
spina bifida and how the nerves are exposed, they wait to get surgery. But in his case, even though he was born at 35 weeks premature, he was doing so well, and a day after birth, he had his surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that wasn't because he was like came 5 weeks early or anything. That was just that's basically what they do when you are born with
Yes.
spina bifida. Okay. And do you know exactly like what they're doing with the spine in that
From what I
surgery?
remember, is more like the nerves that were damaged, just kind of put them back into the spine
Okay.
and close it up so it won't be exposed, because his was completely exposed outside of the skin. And so the sooner the better, because you prevent infection and more damage to the
So
spine.
literally as a baby, like it's like you can see it coming out.
Yes.
My goodness. Because they talk about a neural tube defect, and I know just like the, you know, the canal there. So I guess that's because they're, you know.
Yes. Now that
those
I
two-
remember, the mild one is the occulta, which is the one that is not outside of the skin. It's more like just in the spine, and they can barely see it.
Okay.
And so I think that's the minor one. But his is the meningocele, where it's exposed outside the skin, and it's...
And that's why it's like the most severe.
Yes.
Where it, you know, requires immediate surgical attention.
Yes.
Did they say that there's any additional surgeries that like he has to have, or is that?
Well, with the spine, no. As long as he does well, and he keeps walking and the fluid stays under control, then he doesn't need any back surgery at all.
That's great.
Yeah, just his club feet are the ones that he's been struggling with. I guess while he's growing, his muscles are going back to the position of the club feet, and so that's what we've been struggling with. And
no yawning allowed. I'm kidding.
He's had 2 surgeries on that.
Oh, really? Okay. So who is his doctor at Texas Children's or Memorial Hermann Children's?
Right now, he has Texas Children.
Okay. And what's his doctor's name?
He has several. He has the Spina Bifida Clinic, which is all the doctors get together and help with the needs. So he has a neurogenic doctor, urology, orthopedic, and his
One
brain
of
doctor
each.
too.
Okay. So you're basically right now at, you said Texas Children's Hospital with him? And so it's a whole like spina bifida department, really. They have multiple specialists there. So what are some of the specialists outside of like spine that he sees?
He sees urology mainly every 6 months.
Okay, so urology, what is that for specifically?
So
I know what it's for, but what does it consistently have to do with him?
The urology doctor helps him because he has neurogenic bladder.
Okay.
So his bladder doesn't connect with his brain, so we have to cath him every 3 hours.
Really?
And that has been since, if I recall, 4 months of age, because he was getting all these infections. We didn't know what was going on until he got all these tests done and realized that he needed to be cath because his urine was just not,
Yeah, he like doesn't know I need to
His
go to
body
the
just-
restroom, and and it wouldn't just like happen, like it would literally just basically stay in there
It would happen like just in certain times.
like, sporadically.
Yeah, but not, fully.
And that's so important just for the cleansing, like everything.
Yes.
Any kind of toxins we're taking in, just getting those drained out. So that could really cause. So there was a while there that you guys didn't know what was going on, and then ended up getting him set up.
Yeah, we didn't know until they did all these tests, ultrasounds, MRIs to see what was going on until they decided he had to be cath, and it all started, every 4 hours, and then right now it's every 3 hours as he gets older.
Do you like going to the doctor? Do you feel like you learn something every time you go? Something new about yourself? Yeah, that's good. Are they friendly there? Good. You talked about the surgeries. Was that an orthopedic surgeon or a podiatrist that did some of the for the?
Yes, it was an orthopedic surgeon that did 3 of his surgeries, and it was more correctional to make sure that, I guess, his bones were aligned, so he can be able to walk more properly. And
Okay. And I guess not everyone has that surgery, because if they're not really walking or, kind of excelling the way that he is, then that they
yeah,
never
I
really
think it
realize.
just depends, yes,
Yeah.
on how they are with their health and just the positioning of their feet.
And intellectually, is he like at the level of other 5-year-olds? Is anything different there?
I think right now he's at the 5-year-old, and I think he's even doing better from what
Really?
his teacher says, because his nurse Brittany has really worked with him constantly in numbers, letters, just getting to talk, and he's very shy, but when it comes to like learning and reading and just talking to the teacher, he's really good.
Yeah, he's doing incredible. I mean, just like from what I've read, because a lot of these things, because of the condition, like they're intellectually like not at the levels you would expect, not walking. So it's like, you're right. He's like every day like a new little miracle or blessing, right?
Yeah, big blessing.
The only thing I do want to, before we have to wrap up, I want to touch on, like, is there any organizations that you guys are a part of and have kind of, gained knowledge about spina bifida, like a community that others could, maybe join?
I was part of the Spina Bifida Association, and here in Houston, we would go do the walk in November.
Okay.
For 2 years, but then COVID came, and we couldn't do it anymore. So we haven't gone in 2 years, but it's a really good organization that I've learned so many things, because moms go there and we talk about our children and we see different situations. And so I learned a lot from the Spina Bifida Association, and also just Facebook group that I had joined. And different situations, different parents that share, their children and what they go through, doctors, and
like just connecting.
I've learned a lot.
All of that. And that's a lot about what Hatching for Health is here to do, is like help raise awareness for, conditions with, ultimately like finding new ways to cure them and to like just live a better life.
Yes.
And if someone wanted to reach out to you to, ask you any questions, like how can they find you? Your social media?
They can find me on Instagram as Glitter Dreams 20.
Okay.
And Facebook, Carito_Ortiz.
Okay, perfect. So I know as a mother or father, I know people always have questions, and when they can connect directly with, a mom or dad of a fellow child. So
my Instagram actually has more about him since he was born.
That's
so
great.
That would be great.
Awesome.
Share my story.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Adrian. I appreciate it. Yeah. And thank you. I really am glad you guys came on to tell your story. And
yes, thank you for
we'll
inviting
keep in touch,
us.
definitely.
Yes.
And thank you
so
all
much.
for tuning in to another episode of Hatching for Health. We'll be right back here with you next Saturday morning.